You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
I want to talk about news, don't want the drama. From no pretentious media Madonna. I found me a great ganja mama. Cannabis and coffee with Tamarijuana.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Cannabis and Coffee with me, Tamara. It is Monday, March the 3rd, and I'd like to wish my mommy a happy birthday because it's my mom's birthday today, and it's also the anniversary of my grandmother's death. So there's that too, which, she's been gone now 14 years as of today, but I get to live in her house, so I get to be with her every day. I'd also like to acknowledge that I live, love, and learn and work on the beautiful Ktunaxa Nation, which is a conglomeration of 4 nations, which is the Akum, Ktunaxa, Lower Plains, and Tobacco Nations. This morning, I'm bringing back Mellissa Ellisworth. We are going to continue on with her battles with WCB and her cannabis, being a cannabis patient and all the things that go along with that. This has been a really long battle for her, but she's also got another project that she's throwing out there that she's thinking to do. And we want to see if we can get some momentum out there for her. So I'm going to bring her on without further ado. Morning, honey.
Morning, honey.
How are you?
Same old, getting there, one day at a time.
Right, and you're the same as me today, like fucking paying up the yin yang because of this goddamn humidity.
Oh, it's very much the pressure's been all over the place.
And you're right on the water, where I'm not on the water, but I've got like several lakes around me. But humidity here, like Cranbrook's not a real humid place. Like we're not on the coast, right? Usually fairly dry. And I've never really noticed. And this year, because we've had everything's different. Like we haven't had as much snow. It's gone from warm to cold to warm to cold. It's the trend of in the barometric this and that and the humidity level. And I'm telling you, like I've been a flare. Like it seems like I've been in a low flare for like 3 months, where it's just like every morning when I get up and I'm taking my medications like I'm supposed to and I'm doing all the things, but I get up and it's just like, oh my fucking God, I can barely move. My hands are all stiff and sore. And before it was like a bounce out of bed, but I am a year older, but I don't consider that being, any part of the issue. I just think that, it's the weather.
Yeah. And seasons used to be reliable one time. Not so much anymore. It's just all over the place.
Everything's all over the place. So, WCB and you are having the same games, eh?
Yeah.
Did they? Because the last time we had you on, you were doing blueprints for the back entrance to the house, and they wanted you to make a decision like now.
Yeah.
What happened with that?
So they sent someone down, an engineer, to look at the house in person, which I suggested months and months and months ago. And we walked through the house, and she got a good, I guess the best thing I can say is that she got a good example of what my needs were compared to what I was trying to deal with. And
right, some comprehension on what was the actual needs rather than assuming, right?
Yeah, and I was trying to explain to them that in the plans that they sent me, it looked like they missed a room in the house.
Right.
Because it looked like there was a room missing, and they kept saying, no, there's not, and for months I kept saying, but there is. Like, I know it's my house, right?
It's my fucking house. I know exactly what's going on here. Like, don't tell me you're missing a room, dude.
Exactly, you're missing a room, and it's in the middle. So it was during that visit where, because she said, we'll come back this way. And she kind of, we're standing in the kitchen and she kind of came back. She will come back this way with the bathroom to extend the bathroom. I said, okay, but what about this? And I just pushed the door and the middle bedroom door open. And she was like, oh. So then I was like, yeah, that's the bedroom I was trying to tell you that was not in the plans. So I've yet to sign legal paperwork on anything, but my case manager wanted to know, like, on the portal for my yes or no to go ahead. And she only contacted me on the days that she knew that I had my ketamine. And as I can't legally answer those questions in 24 hours, and you know that. So the last 3 times she contacted me were all on Thursdays, all on my infusion days.
Sounds like you should, I don't know if you can do this. I know with Alvin, what I did, because he had one worker that was just completely incompetent. I phoned and said I wanted to speak to a manager, and I had his case moved to a different.
This one is brand new. I've had her since last spring when
I know, and they do that to you too. Like they change, like yeah, but he got one like I said, because of every 3 or 4 months they were fucking new staff and new agent, for the fucking. It's like, what can't, because they move up, whatever the fuck their issues are. It's an insurance company, and I think that's what most people don't understand is when they're dealing with WCB, you're not dealing with a government agency.
No,
I think
case have much worse.
Yeah, well, like I think people have a misconception that they're dealing with a government agency it's regulated by the government, but it's not a government agency, and it's in a private insurance company.
Oh,
and they don't want to give you their fucking money.
No
matter what. They want to take your employer's money, just like they want to take your car insurance money. But when you get in a car accident and you're hurt, they don't want to pay you out either.
No.
And it's the same thing. Big corp fucking taking advantage of the little guy again, right? And again, never mind the battle with, with all your medications, ketamine, and the fact that you needed cannabis medications and all these things that were in your realm, and you had doctors, advice and doctors' notes and all these things, and yet they still couldn't get past the word cannabis.
Yep, still can't. Actually, yesterday, it's funny you mentioned that. I went back to my GP to get my script refilled because it ran out in September, and because she's in Halifax and I'm in Cape Breton, I had to go see her. And then the last couple of visits I went, weather-wise, I couldn't get off the island. And then there was at one point I asked Comp if they would cover an extra day at a hotel because there was no way I was getting back on the island safely that day. And they said no. She said, how about if you stop twice on the way home?
It's fucking what?
And I'm like, no, this has nothing to do with me, my driving ability or ability to drive for long periods. Like, is the sun going to come out of nowhere when you step out of the car? Like,
I can't drive at night, you stupid woman.
No.
Like, I got no night vision. Yeah, I'm going to drive. What is it, 9 hours?
Well, perfect example. I asked them if they could move the door from I asked them if they could move the back door 2 feet, like to the left, where a window already exists.
Yeah.
There's that opening.
Yeah, because you were on the stairs there and you were worried you were going to fall or something. Yeah, I remember telling you that.
No, they're too worried about not being able to match the siding.
The fuck does the siding matter if you fall down the fucking stairs?
Yep.
Can you get them to put a handrail or a guardrail or a gate or something across there? Probably. I would get them to do everything that you fucking possibly can to get as much money out of them as you can. Get them to bubble wrap the fucking wall around it. I want a handrail. I want a handrail. I want a ramp. I want whatever the fuck. If you're not going to move the fucking door, you're going to do something to make it so it's safe. So I'd have them put handrails all the way down on both sides. I make them put a fucking gate across there that you can't fucking topple over. Maybe even a door. Put a door there then. Do something to make it so that I don't harm myself. I'm just asking for you to make it so that I'm safe in my own fucking home. How hard is that? It's very hard, apparently. I don't understand why everybody wants to fight the disabled so fucking hard. Yeah. Like we're people that don't have, like, and I don't take any I am not on any disability. I don't have any back rails. I don't have anybody helping me. I have nothing. Okay. My husband makes too much money. I can't be on PWD because of being married, nor would I want to take it if I could. Right. If I could take my CPP, which I attempted to do and was denied because I wasn't disabled enough in 2008 when my last contribution to CPP was. I was denied. They sent me a letter saying, we recognize that you're disabled, but sorry, you weren't disabled enough in 2008, and that was your last contribution. I'm like, but I worked in 2009 at this hair salon, and then I bought this hair salon, and I contributed nothing because I was then a business owner. What happened to the contributions from May of 2008 till March of 2009? Well, it comes to pass that my boss never paid. Nothing. And never reported anything. So I got to go a whole year without maternity leave too. So I had to go back to work because I had no hours recorded for eligibility for unemployment because she didn't report or pay it for 9 fucking months. And those 9 months would have qualified me for a year of mat leave. And I fudged her fucking records to make sure she had the 600 hours that she fucking needed, because so she could go on mat leave for a fucking year. Because that's why I bought the hair salon. Because she was pregnant and going to shut it down. I says, hey, how about I buy it from you? And then we can all stay working, and then you can go on mat leave and then come back and we can just, continue on with life. And I ended up pregnant. Don't ask me how the fuck that happened because, well, no, it happened, but I was told I couldn't have any more kids. My oldest kid was 16 fucking years old. 16, 15, and 13. Or, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't planning on anyways. But yeah, but I got fucked out of that. So in an interim, her fucking me out of mat leave made her fuck me out of CPP. And then she had the audacity to fucking try suing me for the lot, like, because I stopped paying her. The salon was closed. I ain't paying you. Because we did a payment plan. I gave her so much down and we had a payment kind of arrangement. And the salon shut down. So when anything sold, the chairs or anything, because she didn't even want to go to the salon. She could have went back to the salon, cleaned up the fucking all the equipment and taken that off no, she let me go and do that. And then anytime I sold something, I would give her the money. I gave her first options to come and get a chair, take that off the money that I owed her, whatever, right? I was trying to work with her. The day we were moving to Coronation, the bitch fucking had me in court for fucking suing me for 10 grand for the fucking salon. And I'm like, you're not getting fucking nothing. Never mind, you fucked me out of mat leave and you fucked me out of CPP disability, which I didn't find out until I tried applying here in like 2015 or 2016, right? And you think, you better not fucking walk across my path because I'm liable to fucking give you a knuckle sandwich. Never mind. You didn't pay any of my contributions for CPP or unemployment for fucking 9 months.
Scottish kiss.
You know what I mean? And never mind, like when I took this loan, I couldn't even get credit from any of the suppliers because she owed everybody fucking money. And then they disconnected the phone because she owed money on the phone. Like, and I understand it. The salon was not viable when I bought it. It was a fucking bad location. Everything was bad about it.
You tried.
I always wanted a hair salon. It was one of my dreams in life. So it was checked off the bucket list. And even as my uncle was saying, don't ever buy a hair salon. They're not viable. And he's a banker, right? Or he was. And I was always told after I got out of hair school, whatever you do, don't do a chair rental and don't ever own a salon. It's just a waste of money. And I looked at him, what the fuck did I go to hair school for? That was my, ultimately, you want to own your own business, right? And when I went to the salon, he goes, don't do it. Don't do it. He goes, you don't do it. And he was telling my parents, because my parents helped me with the down payment, right? My mom and dad gave me the money to do it. And my uncle's like, don't do it. Don't give her the cash. It's gonna blow up in your face. And it did. But hey, we got a beautiful boy out of it. And yeah. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, and so for him too, like speaking of cannabis, because I let unbeknownst, and I don't give a shit, and all his doctors know, just so if anybody's concerned about my 15-year-old's use of cannabis, he's got doctor's recommendations. Just say it, because they all know, pediatrician, all of them, surgeon, right down to it. Because actually, he piped up when the surgeon asked him if he smoked, and he goes, "I don't smoke." He goes, "But I vape cannabis," and the doctor kind of looked at me. I go, "Helps with the inflammation. It helps him eat." I says, and I told him been 2012 licensed. I've got, I find it, and they just kind of went, "Oh, if you find it's working and it's helping, I'm not going to say anything." And they don't
fix it,
right? So again, so he's got to go for a colonoscopy, and this is, but he's not smoking but again, if this is something that needs to be done for your child, whether they're You know how many parents left and moved to Denver, Colorado, and places to go because their kids needed cannabis, oils and stuff, right? Even like Sophie in Nova Scotia there, Nick and Kaylee Jones, right? With Sophie there, like even trying to get her on her wish for dream wish, right? And I kind of gave him a knock this morning because he said something about all his friends being fucking this and that. And I said, you sit with one Nazi, you're either a fool or. And I love Nick. He used to work with Alvin, like that's how we know Nick and Kaylee, right? Nick was Alvin's derrick hand on a rig when we were in Alberta. He came out from Nova Scotia to work, and when he left, he had met Kaylee. He had a trip home, and he was homesick, and he missed his girl. And so we had this old beat up Jeep kind of thing, and we told him, take the Jeep, drive it to Red Deer, sell it, get on a plane, and go. And that's how Nick got back to Nova Scotia. Alvin, like, you need to go home, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
So he went home, and that's when they got married, and then Sophie was born, and so there's a really, really soft spot for me for that kid. But I find like even with Maya too, like with Sarah's daughter there too. Yeah, I mean she's gone now though. She was 15. She would be 20, 18, 19. 19 this year, I think. But it was cannabis. Like I mean, she was literally sent home with a stint, and so there was nothing more you could do for her. Same with Haley. And I'm going to have Cheryl Rose on the show soon here too, so we can announce her big announcement here soon as she's able to do so. But that's a child that I met when she was 15 years old in Ottawa, having several epileptic seizures on a daily, and now is 30. And when she was younger, couldn't even sit in a tin roof. She have to have now she's going to clubs and strobe lights and all kinds of things that aren't the same for her, right?
I've been following it, and I'm just it does what it does, man.
I know we're preaching to the choir when we're on this stuff, but it's just the same as you go out and people look at you like you're sideways. Like I mean, now it's legal; they don't seem to look quite as sideways with stigma. But even with the substitution program, like on my cup sitting out at the store, and I had this lady come in the other day. We had to watch time, make sure we're not running over the commercial. We got lost time. And my cup was sitting out, and she had a stack of Keno tickets like this. She goes, "Can you cash these?" I go, "Yeah." Well, how much can you cash up to? And she was really snotty. Most of them are. And I said, up to $1,000, So she hands me a stack like this. So I start putting them through, and then I turn around to grab them, and she goes, "What's this? Substitution for the homeless?" And I started to, I don't like the homeless. And I don't like addicts. And I looked at her, and I was grabbing her fucking stack of Keno tickets. I didn't say anything. I'm going, "You don't like addicts." As I'm taking her lottery fucking tickets, okay? And then she has the audacity to say, "Yeah, the homeless are just." And I looked. One thing I said, it could be any one of us. That's all I said. She made such a fucking. And then she goes, "And what's this about cannabis? I says, "It's a diversion program." So I try to cut it. She goes, "That stuff's just." She goes, "I don't even know why they legalized it." So, and she was like a Gen Xer. She was like not an old lady. And I could tell that she was probably along the lines of ranching because she cowboy boots, jeans, But I was just like, "You're telling me you don't like the homeless or addicted as you're handing me your Keno tickets." And then
they've been very religious too.
So I had a really hard time dealing. And these are the people that I have to customer service, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I have a really hard time sometimes not saying stuff. And sometimes I will. Like we had this other kid in the store the other day, and a bunch of customers, and we're talking about the orange potato, and the fact that the 51 and stuff, and these other customers like, "No, man, there's no way." And this kid goes, "I'd go." And I looked right at him. I says, "Would you like a ride to the border?" And he looks at me. I go, "Dual citizenship is a thing. You could go right now." I says, "I'll give you."
I had a nickel for every time we were 2 weeks that that song from that Disney movie, "Let It Go, Let It Go, Let It Go," was through my head every time my mouth wanted to go, but and it didn't. Let it go.
Right? But when somebody's standing in front of me and they want us to talk about the orange potato and going to be 51, I just can't. And my husband's always like, "My face doesn't lie," right? Like I can be like saying there's nothing wrong, but my face is going to, fucking kill you, right? And it's just something.
Yeah.
And I guess it's kind of always been. I remember my grandma saying, "Take that sneer off your face." And I'm like, "What sneer?" And I wouldn't even realize it, but I guess I would have a sneer as a kid when I get like I do it now. It's like, well, I can't do it right on cue kind of thing. But I guess apparently I get this snitty look on my face, and I did when I was a kid too. Apparently, my grandma would say, "Get that sneer off your face." Apparently, my face doesn't lie. So if I don't like you, I can't. My face won't tell you, won't change. I'll be not like I'll be like professional, but my face isn't gonna go.
No,
It just doesn't happen. And I
same.
wish I could,
Kind of
but
exhausted.
I'm just not fake. Like, this is what you get. You see what you get, and I'm just like, yeah.
Yeah.
But
There are
apparently, I need to wear more makeup and be more, professional looking on the air. I was told, and I'm like, I don't wear any fucking makeup, and I'm 55 years old, and there's no filters. So when you see that there's not a lot of, there isn't. It's not like I'm covering it up, and I got no filters, right? And I don't give a flying fuck if there is. I earned every gray, and I earned every one of them.
like
But
on some of the other ones, mine just for some reason stays on the last one that I used. You know what I mean? Like it just that filter just stays on the last one that I use. So it's just used over and over. And I don't even think of it. I just do whatever and then whatever. And then some people get so upset about it. I'm like,
you wasted your time. I
like,
really 90% of them are fucking bots. I think that they've got some algorithm, they've got some program that goes in just to cause disruption that says PP for PM or whatever. And I think it's on every platform. And I think they like to, like they said, they're trying to divide, right? And I think it's an algorithm that's actually not even real people. Because I go and I look and they got one follower
I
and no followers.
really like I really hope not because I'm like,
But did you notice when the states went down on that platform that the comments and we could actually see like content that was actually people that you knew, your friends were back on your algorithm? Like I couldn't find you for the longest time after I lost my first account. As soon as them fuckers went down, you were right there. And I remember I said, "God, I've been looking for you because I couldn't remember what your fucking username was. I'm looking for Mellissa, and it wouldn't come up. And I was thinking, I knew it was muddier, but I couldn't remember the first part of it. My brain, right? And I'm trying. It was the same with fuck a cup, and I still haven't found a few of them. And then I lost Jan Arden, and I've got another one that says she's Jan Arden. I says, if this is really Jan, you'll know what year we met. And she comes back, I don't remember. And I'm like, then it's probably not her. And I just started laughing. I went, LOL, yeah, neither do I. So I'm just not going to engage because she sent me a message, but it's not it says this is my backup, but it doesn't have the check mark. It's not the original Jan. Like I had Jan Arden like on my other bound account, which
yeah.
broke fucking hard. And I mean, I could send her a message and say, hey, but I'm not gonna because she's busy. Like she knows, whatever. Right. But yeah, I lost a lot of that. 20,000 fucking followers.
I got bananas.
Right. And I mean those because you said the word cannabis. I don't even know why I got banned.
What it was it was a research paper that I would videotape, like record, like scrolling down through it like quickly, and then I would post the link in the comments. And it was only on the endocannabinoid system. That was it. And it was about how the endocannabinoid system, inflammation, cytokine storm, with all, the COVID stuff and everything, how it was, they thought it would be helpful.
Like, and then
I woke up the next day and it was gone.
Yeah, we had a guest on our show last week that is working because we have a cannabinoid and an endocannabinoid system, right? And he's doing research on that. He's in the States. It was a really interesting show. And it's funny because I've like censored myself so much on TikTok that I find myself censoring myself when I'm on here, thinking that I'm on here, I can swear and do whatever the fuck and say whatever the fuck I want on here and smoke weed. So, but I find myself censoring myself on this stupid thing now too because I've censored myself so much on there. Yeah. But it's ridiculous that you have to. But like the algorithms with this one here, like this goes out on Facebook and stuff. But Al's had issues with Twitter and LinkedIn banning our videos because of the cannabis too, right? And Twitter, it's not. They want money. to play dual lives, right, on Twitter now, so, or X or whatever the fuck that is. So we took it off. We don't do X anymore. And then when I took my account off X, like when Musk bought it, I just deleted. I wasn't giving him any of my data, and that's been like since he bought it. And I knew that I was only one fucking person, and that I don't matter to anything or anybody. I'm just one ant in the fucking ant pile. But he still wasn't getting my fucking shit.
See, for me, that's the way I can get at the government, because that's the only place the government goes is Twitter. Go figure. So if I want,
they're doing more on Twitter or on TikTok. I'm finding some of them, like Bob Canoe and stuff. He's doing a little more on TikTok. Some of them, but they like, because they know that that's where they know, if they were smart, they would know that that's where 90% of the people are getting their information. It's either from Instagram or fucking TikTok. And Instagram, see, like I said to my mom this morning, like I'd get rid of Facebook and Instagram if I could, but because of this and all my followings on these platforms already, I can't use TikTok for this. You know what I mean? Like, just it makes it difficult to decide what you can do and what you can't do. But again, because cannabis has kind of gone off to the wayside, we've got legalization now. It's not really such a push forward on so many things when we've got all these other things going on. Like I understand that we still have no medical access for us and stuff. I mean, we've got a fucking US potato that is good. If he came across, we wouldn't have any access to it at all. And even if fucking Polyev gets in, they see cannabis on the chopping block. I can't see what I saw coming across not too long ago, but there was some video of them talking about taking the legalization of cannabis off.
It was in the memorandum. It was in there. It was in the big.
Is it in there? Is it in their declarations? I thought that's where I
remember.
But, you know, my brain sometimes I just can't place. Like I read so much and I see so much.
They were going to reverse legalization, and I don't know about this, but I remember reading the memorandum around the time of the convoy and stuff, and it said that they wanted to reverse legalization and make CBD only available for kids with epilepsy. And I'm like,
well, first of all, they can't do that because they can't fuck with the medical. Medical's a fucking Supreme Court order. The Smith ruling is a Supreme Court ruling. Go fuck your hat, dude. They can't touch that. But you know what? He can't. Because if he pulls the same shit like he said he's going to with a notwithstanding clause and fucking rip our Constitution apart, we'll be in the same situation. And that means patients are at risk too, right? So I'm not sure if that's one thing we can actually bring forward when we're talking about the next election. And maybe that's something that we should really get involved in pushing forward for the patients and for everybody that does use cannabis. Never mind the taxation that would take out of. But I still want to know where that money is going, because you can't tell me that's going into addiction and reform and all these programs, because I don't see any new recovery.
Just got the highest consumption numbers.
I know, and they're getting, and the money they're pulling in, they get all of it. 75% of the taxation money goes to the province, and they're supposed to filter it down to the municipalities that are getting it to the tune of $11.5 million a year. 5 years of $11.5 million is $57 million to every municipality in this country. Where the fuck is the money? And then you're telling me they're putting it into law enforcement, yet we don't have law enforcement. You tell me you're putting it into recovery addiction services. Addiction to what? Cannabis? You're putting it into what? Community safety units? So you're employing people to go around stealing medical patients' medicine? So
they should be treating the root cause. They should be putting up
back to the whole criminality of it. System. Right. And again, we'll go back to making it a criminal thing rather than an addiction thing. And cannabis isn't addicting. It's more medical, therapeutic, medical, and beneficial even for addiction problems when it comes to substitution, rather than methadone or Suboxone or this new shot they're giving them, Acadia.
It's the safest alternative for
even
most.
Psilocybin, right? I mean, like I said, I know that what I'm giving out isn't a lot. It is helpful. I'm, struggling to keep up with the RSO levels that I need because I have to buy it. And when nobody's donating, I don't have the money, and I can't afford to take it out of my own pocket. If I was a multimillionaire and I had the wealth, I would be giving it to everybody.
I was driving by in a plane drop, no bales, just saying, get out the way, get out the way. We don't want this to go against the cause.
I'd be telling those licensed producers that are being told to destroy it, to be handing it over to every addict on the street. Just dump it off in balefuls. But I mean, we've got, like I said, there's so many, and everybody goes, well, politics we don't want to talk about politics. everything in our life revolves around the fact that it's attached to politics, whether you like it or not. And we've been told never to speak about politics and religion our whole lives. So we have so much discord because every time we do go to talk about it, we're so like awkward and misinformed or ill-informed or willfully ignorant or don't know how it works. Now I'll tell you, grade 5 civics is where it starts. And we were talking about this yesterday too, about when we were talking about the lack of field trips for children in Ontario school education system. And I got to stop there because it's our commercial time. We have to thank our sponsors so that we can keep going on this beautiful network that we have, which is the 420 PACE project, Cannabis, or what is it? PACE, 420 PACE Radio Network project, or network. I'm saying that all wrong. Anyways, we've merged with LRAP again. So we've got 420, which I started on, right? The 420 network, which I started Cannabis and Coffee on with Al. And then we moved and Al had some issue anyway. So we started the PACE Radio Network. And now we've all combined ourselves back together as a big old fat team and we're working together. And it's a great collaboration. So I want to thank the two Als for everything that they've done to bring forward this great network that we get to use. And to our sponsors, which are Campbellford Lifestyle Show, Legacy 420, and Limestone Hydroponics. And I will be right back in about 3 minutes. And we're going to let you see what they all do with a commercial, if I can find one. I do this to myself every time because there are so many commercials now. And here I am, blah, blah, blah. And I can't find a commercial. Are you kidding me? Oh, there's one.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, open Monday to Friday from 10 till 7 p.m. or by chance. Check out our flags, our t-shirts, plus our hats, and look of that supply of rolling papers, plus much more. We've got bongs and your favorite herbal vaporizers. Look at all the incense we have, as well as for those who collect knives, check out these knives in our collection. And while you're here, stop in to see Shay at the piercing room, where you can get poked by Shay. Daily deals, check them out. Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford, Ontario.
When you have a pain that's reached its peak, Legacy for 20, it's so unique. If organic cannabis is what you seek, here's your trusted partner 7 days a week. Suppository salves, vapes and drops, topicals, edibles, infused pop. Just when life seems like it ain't easy, at Legacy 420 enjoy a pop freezy. Lab tested products, make them the GOAT. Legacy 420 out on your road. Legacy 420 in Tyendinaga Mohawk territory. Indigenous organic cannabis at its finest.
What do you find at paceradio.net? People advocating cannabis education.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420. Re-rolled Saturdays. Check it out. Nothing but non-stop cannabis and psychedelic programming. Find it at 420pace.net.
paceradio.ca.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
And we are back. And again, thanks to our sponsors, because if we didn't have them, well, yeah, we wouldn't be here. Oh, we got some comments. I never see these two after the show, unfortunately, sometimes. So we've got, Ohio state Republicans are trying to rewrite cannabis laws passed by Ohio voters to adopt more restrictions to the plant. And this channel is based in Canada. Yes, Dr. Schmeddle, we are. But we understand that, the difference is that they were trying to reschedule down in the United States, the CDS, or I think it's a controlled substance, the same as ours are, from
Yes.
a scheduled 1 to a 3. Ours has been rescheduled too. There's still cannabis laws attached to our legalization for recreational use here in Canada. Like there's restrictions, like you cannot sell to a minor, which is anybody under the age of 19 in some provinces and 18 in others. It's a 14-year jail sentence. You cannot grow any more than 4 plants if they are caught with that. There's also a 14-year jail sentence attached to it. There's fines. The dispensaries that are selling medical patients, they have a community safety unit that will come in and take everything, but there never seems to be any charges. And we feel that the reasoning is for that, because then if there's charges, then it could be challenged again in a Supreme Court. And I think they've gotten wise to the fact that they know that these things in our country, anyway, these legislations, that we can actually challenge them back. And several people do, and there's been charter challenges on several levels to the fact that that's the reason why children can actually gain access, because there was a Supreme Court ruling in Alberta. So, yeah. So let's get back to talking more about you, because you're I thought I saw you say something about walking, and I went, "Are you fucking crazy, lady? That's a long fucking walk. How many hours of drive is it? Like, how long does it take you to drive there?"
6 on a good day.
6. Yeah, I thought it was 9. That's okay. 6 is good, but that's
6.
like a 5-day fucking walk.
Yeah.
Are you thinking you're up to it? Are you gonna die trying? Because I know you're stubborn. You're from Nova Scotia. So that being said, and I know you got a stubborn bone in your body, and I know that you're like me, like you've lived a good life, and if I fucking die trying, I'm gonna fucking, and if not, I'm just, and at the end of the day, I'm gonna go out on my own terms when I decide to go anyways, right? So, and you and I are both on that same note on that. Like, I mean, I'm not as far ahead of the game as you, because I'm not there yet, and I understand why you are, and I applaud you for making decisions for yourself. And it's not even a touchy subject anymore. I don't feel it should be. If you're willing to, and the government is allowing, and yet you want to go on your own, we do better for our pets.
Bingo.
Just saying. And I mean, and if you've got sound mind and you're able to make those decisions on your own, it's your choice. And that's, I think, what people don't understand about Canada, and why we have that freedom that we have, is because and everybody goes, they're just telling people to go kill themselves so they don't have to pay for them. No, they're not. They're telling people to make the choice for themselves, because of the fact, and here's the thing, all your financial problems, I don't blame my financial problems on the government. I blame my financial issues on circumstances and world problems, and the fact that, yes, groceries are really expensive right now because our world is on fire. I don't blame the government. I don't run around screaming about, fuck JT and all, because you know what? He's a human being trying to do a job just like the rest of us and trying to survive, right? But I can hate the orange potato, because him on the other, he's a whole different level. That's a whole different level. And what they want to do with cannabis in the States too is fucking disgusting, because they could go back and pull legalization from every state if they wanted to.
Yeah.
And with what they're doing right now, like defunding, like defund, fire. Like, so if there is and then we know there's a medical marijuana program in the States, because they've got a couple patients that they actually grow it and send it to them in a can. And they still do, and they have been for decades. So they've got this facility that's growing medical cannabis. Is old, keyboard fuck face down there gonna, close that down so those patients don't have access anymore either? Like, how far is this gonna dwell? Is that gonna be one of the things that they come up with, that's corruption? Is that gonna be a whole department that gets shut down because of, you know what I mean? Like, because you don't hear a lot of that coming out of the US, especially when it comes to cannabis, because they have state to state. Like California's got their own rules, Denver's got their own rules, Washington State has their own rules, Montana, Idaho, some states like aren't legal at all, and if you can get pulled over and busted and thrown in jail for a joint. So that's the difference in realm, and like between where in Canada it's legal all the way across. You can jump on a plane, fly from fucking one end of the country with another with a joint in your pocket. Nobody's going to say anything. Now, 10 years ago would have been a whole different ballgame, right? I remember flying from fucking Lethbridge to fucking Vancouver in like 1990, or no, it was maybe 89. And my ex-husband had a bag of skunk weed down his pants when we got on the plane. That whole fucking airplane, every time he moved, all you could smell was that fucking weed. I was ready. I'm surprised we didn't get arrested. And then a few months later, he did get arrested. Our house got raided. I opened the door to go to work, and there's cops down there asking me if I am who I am. And then they seized my car, and they arrested him and 13 others, and they busted from Kelowna to Red Deer to Calgary to Lethbridge. 1989. Yep, that's where the skunk weed went. You never seen it again because we got busted. And my husband now did 2 years less a day for growing weed back in 1980, whatever, because he got caught moving plants in Vauxhall, Alberta, in a rental U-Haul. 78 plants moving from one house to another, and he went to jail for 2 years less a day for that, for cultivation. Right? Hey, I had a friend that went to jail for fucking 8 months for half a gram of blow. I got busted for fucking 8 grams and never did a day. So
Like I was a corrections officer files, and I don't 99% of the time when cannabis was involved, violence wasn't.
No, when I got busted for those 4 grams mailing, I got a fucking firearms prohibition for 10 years. I've never owned a gun in my life. Well, but you know what I mean? Like, but I had a 10-year firearm prohibition because I mailed 4 grams of marijuana in the mail to another patient. I did 6 months house arrest for that. And I mean, they wanted to put me in jail. Like if I hadn't had Taven, and I was in like, and he was just like, he was 8 months old, I think, they would have. And it wasn't because they thought I was bad. It's because I had prior possession charges, and 2 of them, or 3 of them, one was cocaine and 2 were cannabis. And this was my 4th charge for it's not, we don't have a 3 strikes law, but if we had a 3 strikes law up here, I would have been in jail for fucking who knows how long for weed. And I didn't get charged for any drugs in my life until I was 35 years old. I had an entering fraudulent document check for bouncing a check. And yeah. But yeah. And I got nailed for, like, I was a bad time in my life, and I got nailed for some cocaine, and I got and 7 grams of cannabis. I didn't get charged for the weed at all. And then the cop fucked up so bad, he let me go with a PTA on the side of the road, took the cocaine, lost it, no evidence. I got an $800 fine, and I should have fought harder. I would have got it thrown out of court, but I got an $800 fine and walked out of there. So I was just happy to fucking take the fine and fucking leave. Mm. Because my girlfriend had done like 6 months, and I think almost a year for a half gram back in 1988, 89, somewhere. Because the thing is in too, and I was in Tabor, Alberta with that trafficking charge. And the funniest thing is I went to pick up an ounce of weed at the post office, right? That another patient had sent me. And then they were dilly-dallying and farting around. So I got the package finally, right? But in the meantime, they're phoning the cops, telling them that I'm picking this package up, and they rat me out, right? So I'm driving home, and I live 2 blocks away. I'm wearing my medicinal, like my red medicinal shirt, jammies, and my fucking flip-flops. Didn't have my license with me. I'd just been on the fucking news about getting my license and stuff, right? Because CTV had followed up and whatever. I'd done some media before I'd gone out to Ottawa and got my license, because I had to fly out to fucking Ontario to get my first licensing. Because I was in Alberta, my doctor wouldn't sign. Alberta College of Physicians was actively blocking the program. Of course, they still are. And I had to fly to Ontario. Anyways, so, yeah. I got nailed. I had to get the cops to go pick up my license off my desk. Then they found out who my husband was and asked if he was going to give them any trouble. Oh, yeah. Anyway, that's a whole different ballgame. And But I got to walk out of the Tamarijuana police station with an ounce of weed, minus a gram that they were taking for testing. Never happened before either, and never again, because they could charge me with trafficking because they caught a package. I sent out fucking more than one package that day, and lots of it because I was growing my own, and nailed me with the 4 grams. But they couldn't charge me with possession, so I got to walk out because I had a possession license for medical. So I got to walk into the police station that day with an ounce of weed, and I did. Tuna can Kush from my buddy in Saskatchewan. And I had sent him out an ounce too, and another friend of mine too. And like I said, I'd sent out several packages that day. The only thing is that one, the fucking air fucking pop, my sealer, it pops, so somebody could smell it.
It stinks. The good stuff stinks.
Yeah, and we were growing it, so yeah. So, are you serious about walking? Like,
Yeah.
Are we gonna? Okay, so we need to. What's your plan?
I'd like to walk into the workers' comp parking lot on the day of mourning on April 28th.
It's gonna be fucking cold, lady.
28th is gonna be the day of mourning, and I've never wanted to do like there's been protests like over the years. There's been different things going on for the day of mourning, but it's become more focused on workers' compensation than it actually has on the injured workers and the people who actually lost their lives. And if anyone local has seen the extent, not only with myself, but with other companies and other individuals who did lose their lives, the extent they will go in court
To fight them.
To fight them, yes.
And that's the thing, like, never mind, like, anybody who's been hurt on the job, whether you're, or have lost their lives, why should you pay for it?
Yeah.
You like fighting for unemployment, you pay, and then okay, so when are we going to start a campaign? What do you need for help? What do you need me to do? I'm here for, what do you need from us?
We'll discuss this. We're going to sit down and discuss this.
Have you told anybody else out in Nova Scotia?
Not yet. This is it.
Okay, so Mom,
supply.
Chair, Debbie, are you guys listening? We got to load up this lady. We got to get her loading.
It's I think
you're going to need a team behind you. You're going to need a team to go with you.
Yeah,
you're going to need some volunteers.
I didn't want to take away from those who had lost their lives to workplace accidents.
You're living in a living hell. So you know what? They're almost better off because they're not there to have to deal with it. And I think the living dead, because that's pretty much what you are. You have no quality of life. You have to fight with them every single fucking day to get anything out of them. You're always fighting with them for your medication. You're fighting with them for food because you have to fight with them and talk to them every month to make sure you're going to get your fucking check to begin with, that they're not clawing back something. If they're paying for your doctor, if they're paying, it's a fucking nightmare.
I never know. One week to the next when I'm going to be out of here and back in the house. And the house still isn't renovated.
Right. And you, like I said, you've been displaced from your home, which is something they should have done for you 5 fucking years ago. It took you 5 years to get this portion done.
Yep. 120,000.
How many years has this been going on now in the total? Like right from start to finish? We're going on like what? Almost 15 now? 2006
was when I get hit in the head.
Yeah. And 2000. Yeah. More than that because 2006. So we're talking almost 20 years. We're talking 19 years because it's 2025. Next year will be 20 fucking years, Mellissa.
Yeah.
That's disgusting. And people don't understand or realize this too. Once you hit 65, WCB cuts you off.
Yeah. It's like
so if you're not putting stuff aside, investing a little bit of whatever, and you get very little from them to begin with, if you're not making plans for your retirement, you're fucked. Even if you're living on like PWD, OSDP, any of the provincial disability plans, they cut you off at 65.
Yep.
I'm thinking, how in the fucking hell can they do that? Because then you have absolutely fucking nothing to live on. If you don't work and you're on disability, there's no CPP contribution. You will, of course, because you've worked for a portion of your life, but you haven't worked in 20 years. So your CPP contribution, and you're living on that now. And your OSDP or Nova Scotia, if you're got any of that benefit, is you don't, depending on your CPP, because you might be making too much money off that, because they claw it back. Like even out here, like you make $1,800 fucking dollars, and at on PWD, and if you have a job, they claw back anything over $800, you can never get out of that tax bracket. You can never get ahead. You can never have a quality of life. And they do this to our disabled people and our people that are hurt at work.
Like
And
it's
then
like
you're going to shame us. And make us feel
like
bad
all
about
my
it.
disabilities and pain is going to disappear. Like
It's
up
like
until I'm
asking your veteran
55,
if his leg grew back.
it doesn't. I know it doesn't make any sense, but that's workers' compensation math.
I know I heard a story at one point that somebody had lost his hand in a workers' compensation claim. I think it was in Saskatchewan, actually, on a rig. And they actually declared they cut him off because they had heard a rumor that his hand had grown back. And somebody in town had seen him walking around in the wintertime with a glove hanging out of his fucking where his arm was. And they had assumed because the glove was there, somebody reported this poor bastard to WCB that his hand had grown back.
Oh, it doesn't surprise
I
me.
have to go. I'm going to see if I can find that on Google because I don't want to make up some story or something that might not be true. But you know what I mean? Like it just
Well,
takes.
Veterans Affairs used to make a guy from New Brunswick go every 2 years to make sure to prove that
That's
his
what I
leg
mean.
grow
To prove
back.
like that his leg hadn't grown back from it being blown off.
I mean, like how insulting is that? I had to prove from 2006 until last year that I had PTSD, and they were told I had PTSD in 2010, but yet they still hammered at me. They gaslit me. They harassed me. They bullied me. They knew I was weak, and they went in for the kill.
I just can't even decide to even like. It just makes me fucking sick. Like to be honest, like just the fucking whole. But again, we're dealing with a private insurance company, and
Yes.
it's like dealing with Intact, and there's caps on things, right? So they're only allowed to give you so much, whether you made so much money while you're working, right? So say for example, when you worked, you probably made well, not now, but now you know jail guards and stuff. They still don't make that much fucking money, to be honest. But
Mm,
again, like you only get a quarter of that. Like what is it,
yep,
70% or
yep.
something? Like where do they figure that the 30% goes? Like you just don't need that 30% of money. Like you worked for that job, you need that money when you were working. Where do they think that 30% of your money went? Like it's just that 30% was the money that you were able to actually eat with, maybe maybe go to a movie with, maybe drive a car, pay for a car insurance and a car payment.
That's my
Now
life.
that
That
30,
30%.
yeah, that 30% that they take away from you gives it basics. Like
Yeah.
like I said to my mom this morning, like
And being disabled is expensive.
out here, disability is $1,876 a month, right? If I was on disability, living with and have a child, they give you an extra $100 a month for a kid. So $1,986 is what I get. A one-bedroom fucking apartment in town starts at $1,878. So some single person living on disability to even cover their basic housing need is $1,800.
Yeah.
That's not including your electricity. Or if
No.
you want a parking spot. So you have to pay every dime you've got that you get to have a roof over your head and not eat or pay electricity
Where's all this cannabis tax money going?
to law enforcement and addiction and recovery and community safety units, apparently.
Not around here, it ain't.
I don't see it here either. But apparently there's a new our town gets, like I said, each municipality that opted into the cannabis retail market gets $11.5 million a year. For the last 6 years that we've had cannabis legalization, that's $57 million per municipality. Where is it? My town's just raised my property taxes. My mom told me this morning they went from $170 a month to $230 a month.
Same.
My parents, my grandparents, and we've been paying property taxes on this piece of shit in fucking land since 1950 fucking one. For fucking 80 fucking years. We've been paying property tax, this family has, right? My family. And then they want to up it again. My house ain't worth 60 fucking cents, never mind fucking the 300,000 they have it appraised for. I need a new roof and I can't even get a loan to get one because I was just turned down on that loan that I was trying to get because my parents live in Alberta, so my mom can't co-sign. So I'm fucked.
See,
and my words are speaking like it's sorry. Yeah. So we need a team of volunteers. You're going to need a caravan or like a little minivan or something to sleep in or something, so you don't have to wait hotel rooms, because you're going to have to stop along the way. You can't walk 6 days straight.
We'll figure something new.
We will talk about it, because yeah.
About this,
And
yeah.
fucking God, I wish I was in a better position, because I would fly out there and walk with you.
I know you would.
I fucking would.
I know you would.
Maybe I will. We'll see how things go.
You
Maybe I'll
carry
just,
on your back if you could. I know you would.
I'd fucking drive my car out there if I fucking didn't have the exhaust leak in it. It's only 5-day drive. It's not that bad.
No.
I could make it in 3 if I pedal to the metal. Pack a dog and off I'd go. I would. I want to drive across country anyway. April's not a great year to do it. Me and Alvin really want to come out to Nova Scotia. Like that's
April out here can be sketchy.
It can't. Well, even sketchy out here. Like I gotta have to go pick up meat in Saskatchewan at the end of. I think it's April. They pushed off. I bought a cow. Right. Thankfully, my old landlords, we bought a whole cow and I can pay it off in payments. So that's another reason why I'm a little bit broke this payday, because it was a big chunk to put down, but it's worth it for what I'm gonna get. So, I have to drive to go pick it up this year though. Usually they bring it to Lethbridge for me, but yeah. So I got to go to Saskatchewan sometime in April, and that's when you need me out there. So I can't drive all the way out there. Maybe I could pick it up on the way back. The driving out there this time of year, yeah, no. If my cousins were still long hauling, I would jump in a truck with my cousin, because they used to go back and forth quite a bit. But he's quit doing it now. Yeah, that's shitty. I bet you I could find a truck driver though. I don't know. Let me figure it out. You just never know. We'll talk about it.
I know an Ninja truck driver. He's off.
Well, I mean, we just have to connect me across the country with a couple truck drivers that are going that way, or one that's taking a load out that way, and then I could just jump in and hitch a ride. Depending though, I've got to be careful. You don't want to just jump in with any fucking old.
No.
Like I gotta be like, but I've got a pretty good. Like I used to work for H&R Transport, right? So. And my buddy Josh still drives truck, and he actually drove a cat out to Nova Scotia. He took a cat out to Nova Scotia in his truck.
Oh, we had dog rescues up there. When I lived in Halifax, we had truckers picking up.
Yeah, we got that. We got the hull. It's called for the Hull of Critters or something.
One guy used to play Santa Claus for the pictures every year. Yeah, it was awesome, and the dogs would remember him. Like they would remember him.
They do. They're smart as fuck, man. Yeah. Trust me, I've got a pit bull here that I swear, if he could talk, he would. His eyes will just like you can see his eyes moving, and he's like, and same with my old guy. He doesn't see so good anymore, but yeah, he's on his way out. Okay, so we're gonna do a walk from Cape Breton to fucking Halifax, and we're gonna land at the WCB parking lot on April the 28th. And this is for the day of mourning for WCB and the fact that they torture people on a daily basis, and never mind the fact that you're a cannabis patient and have been doing this for 19 fucking years. So if people want to help you, how do they get a hold of you?
And they're clamping everybody down.
I know. And with this new bullshit that's going on, I mean, and didn't you guys have an election? You voted for the same fucking piece of shit.
Well, when 42% show up to vote,
I know. Yeah. Well, look what happened in Ontario.
But people are happy.
Well, that's the thing with healthcare.
Going through a United States thing right now. From what I'm hearing, there's a lot of regret. Because after that, he went after the Auditor General, and then there's a whole pile of stuff that happened. But oddly, just 2 weeks before that, I gave the Auditor General a big dump in an email. So there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, and
I think we need to invite the Premier of your day of arrival.
Oh, he won't show up.
WCB parking lot, maybe then head over to the fucking ledge.
He had the balls to share the Sportsnet article that showed a pitch, because the Hawks Dream Field, like one of the dugouts was named after my dad, who's still alive, and it showed a picture of me and my dad, and he had the balls to share that, because he pumped 1.3 whatever million dollars into it, and there's the picture of me and my dad.
$1.3 million into something like that is a fucking drop in the bucket. I don't think people quite understand or comprehend the fucking infrastructure's cost. And I'll tell you, because I work with the Ministry of Transportation here, we only got like 1 minute left, but whatever. A bridge alone is a fucking over $30 million project. A bridge, right? And road constructions and all these infrastructure projects that have to happen in our country. And the provinces are responsible for some of that, but some of the federal money is too. But when you got fucking premiers that are actively blocking getting funding or using the funding inappropriately or not using it what it's for, and then get told, hey, we want to know what you're using the money for, and then you get all pissy about the fact that the government wants to know where you're fucking putting their money. You're not putting their money, you're putting my money. And that's the thing when people say, well, blah, blah, I'm fucking the government. You're fucking your hardworking neighbor because it's our money that goes into those coffers.
Compensation rentals, they're going with the lowest bidder.
Yeah, I know.
That's workers' compensation. So far, they spent $120,000 on Airbnb fees, but they're going with the lowest bidder
On your house.
on
They
my
could
house.
have built you. They could have built you a brand new fucking house for what they're paying for your Airbnb fees.
They already surpassed what I paid for it.
That's just ridiculous. So if you need volunteers and anybody wants to help Mellissa, her name on TikTok is Saltier Mutter. If you follow her on TikTok, please do. And if not, then how do people reach out to get it? So she's going to need some volunteers. This is going to need a team. So if you want to help Mellissa get going on this walk, where she's going to walk from Cape Breton to Halifax, Nova Scotia in April. When are you leaving?
I'm trying to map it out. I'm going to contact a couple of people about legalities. I don't want to get in any trouble along the way.
Get a hold of the Ministry of Transportation. There should be no issues as long as you're not impeding traffic.
Yeah, that's things I
And
want.
that's the thing. And you can get a permit, right? Like there are.
This is a reminder. Shower.
Yeah, you can get permits and that kind of thing for it. But you definitely need to like start planning now.
Yeah, and that's the stuff that I need to start doing now is figure out what I need to do. So anybody with any experience with this stuff, reach out either on Facebook or TikTok or.
What's your email address?
My email address is riggs@live.ca.
rrggs@live.ca.
RIGGS.
RIGGS. Okay. Yeah. So yes, let's help Mellissa get going, and let's raise some money. She's going to need some money to do this. Let's get a fundraiser going too, because we're going to need some cash for gas and rooms and that type of thing. So probably a GoFundMe, not a GoFundMe, because we call it GoFundMe because they take money and it takes so long to get the money. We're just going to do e-transfer straight to your bank account.
Oh.
All right. Okay, you will stick around after. Like, don't go off. We're gonna have to let this thing end and live stream. But after we'll chat. I've got time to chat with you for 3 minutes before I have to go throw my ass into a shower because I have to work at 3. But let's get this project going. So anybody who's wanting to help Mellissa, either reach out to me or her, because I'll connect whatever. I'll help facilitate in any way, shape, or form. So Saltier Mutter on TikTok, Mellissa Ellisworth on Facebook, or me. All right. And we'll let you know. We'll set up a Facebook page too. Maybe I think that's probably another great idea.
Yeah.
We'll get it all figured out. All right, folks. Well, I will see you all again next week. Again, I want to also thank all our sponsors who are Limestone Hydroponics, the Campbellford Lifestyle Store, and somebody chewed my mouse. Maybe not. Maybe it's been dropped too many times. Oh, sorry. Sorry. And 420 Legacy, or Legacy 420. And to Al and Al, who are our producers and do all the technical stuff behind the scenes. Thanks so much. And to everybody else that's on our network too. We have several shows that run all week and all day Saturday. So thanks again. I'll see you Wednesday night on the Pace Radio Show with Al at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And I'll be back on TikTok, later on one of my profiles. Have a good week, folks. Bye.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own, and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with. All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
When you have a pain that's reached its peak, Legacy for 20, it's so unique. If organic cannabis is what you seek, here's your trusted partners 7 days a week. Suppository salves, vapes and drops, topicals, edibles, infused pop. Just when life seems like it ain't easy, at Legacy 420, enjoy a pop freezy. Lab tested products, make them the GOAT. Legacy 420 out on your road. Legacy 420 in Tyendinaga Mohawk territory. Indigenous organic cannabis at its finest.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more. We've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.